The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. This is the 2024 pre-spring edition of The Local Show.
Yay!
Yes, indeed. I'm your host, Tom Soccocio Jr., along with my fearless friend and co-host, Steve Roberts. The Local Show features conversations about local businesses. We talk to the business owners. We even get some CEOs in here and CFOs, entrepreneurs, nonprofits, business advocates, and other business-friendly organizations. We learn how they got into business, why they do business right here in Syracuse, New York, and where their businesses might be going in the future. You're going to hear all about their successes, their challenges, opportunities, marketing, and advertising. And we are broadcasting from the Zoey Advertising Studios, sponsored by Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. And you can see us on YouTube, so please go to the YouTube page for Zoey Advertising, like and subscribe, and you'll be all set to get all sorts of content that will bore you to death, but
only if it's you. If it's our guests are very interesting people.
You might find some people that you go, oh wow, I didn't know they did that, and they had family, in the business and all that. That's what's fun about it.
No, it is fun. I get trapped on YouTube. I'm not trapped. I'm like a willing hostage, because you see something and then you see something else.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting, and then they realize you like to watch, I don't know, fishing videos or golf videos or
right,
or your pro Second Amendment, and suddenly here's all the content that comes flying.
Speaking of fishing, I turned 60 on Friday, so that's old for those of you keeping up with things. Yeah. No matter how you slice it, people say it's just a number. It's a big number.
It is a big number, and nobody was betting that you would make it by all your complaints all the time. So congratulations.
Well, thank you. There's still time for me to go. So I just remember this time of year, because, my birthday's, oddly enough, it's at this time every year. And I used to do a lot of fishing when I was younger and hopeful. And I used to go to the Ore and Delphi Road a lot, and all up through there. What is that called? Is that limestone or... I don't know if that's part of it or...
Yeah, you got Chittenango Creek, you got Limestone Creek, you got Butternut Creek, and it just depends where you are.
Yeah, over there. But I used to go there and on rainy days, and, you could stand out in the rain all day and fish, and I would be soaked, and, we'd wear ponchos, but still our heads would be soaked. Did
you buy that whole on rainy days a fish bite thing?
Yes, I did. I always thought that.
I think the tackle shops pulled that out, because I've never caught that many fish on rainy days.
And either did I.
Got a few colds, but that's about it.
That's about it. And I was going to say, back then I enjoyed it, but now I can't imagine doing that.
We got another week. Wildlife season closes the 15th.
Okay.
So, and then the ice isn't there. So,
then
short fishermen, and then it opens the first Saturday in May.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah. Well, look, in the meantime, listen to the show, because we've got a good show all set up for you. Sheila Ostrom's going to stop by. She's the owner of Senior Home Care and Alzheimer's Solutions. We've got Sean Dupree, who is the owner of Top Notch Roofing. Ashley Bednark is the owner of Infinite Nutrition. And then Matt Mallory, owner of PS&Ed and Mallory Unlimited, will stop by. Bruce Pollock is the owner of B&C Storage. Charlie Van Patten, owner of Mattress Makers. We'll have a conversation with him, along with Bill Gibson, who is the owner of Upstate Spray Foam. And then attorney John Murphy, who is the owner of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. All on the show today, but we start with our gal Sheila. How are you there, Sheila?
I love starting the day off with you guys. It's wonderful.
Well, we love having you.
Yes.
You actually bring some life and color to the show.
I try. I, too, celebrated a big birthday a couple weeks ago.
You did?
She turned 40. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
she turned
39
40. I'm going to announce it right now.
I turned 55. It's a big number.
Goodness. Double nickels is
a big number.
Yeah.
So I get the whole starting to feel old thing.
Yeah.
But look, it is 1 year closer to retirement.
Well, that's true.
Yes.
And you know what else is that you're out there, trying to live a healthy life. And I think a lot of us, turn that page and say, hey, let's live, right? Let's be healthy and mobile. So, in a lot of ways, your people at Senior Home Care do that with the elderly, right? You keep them moving, you keep them engaged in community. Tell people what your services are about.
Yeah, so Senior Home Care Solutions helps people in their home who are seniors, and it's funny because we have people as young as 65 and people as old. Our oldest person's 102. And we help them in their home so they can stay in their home or apartment. We also help people in some of the independent living areas in the
you'll go to the facilities. Huh? Okay.
Yeah. And, our goal is to keep them active and upright, as you say, and enjoy the life that they're living now. You know, they are not enjoying making their beds, change their sheets, and they're doing their laundry anymore. And that takes a lot of that energy away. So we can do some of those tasks so they have energy to do the things they really want to do.
Yeah.
We have one woman who's an amazing quilter, and she spends a lot of her time quilting, and she does not want to cook meals anymore or do laundry. So we can fill in the gap and do some of those things.
Yeah. And do you still take people, make them mobile around town, like go to the grocery store, doctor's appointments, things like that?
Grocery store, doctor's appointments. We have a lot of people that we've been able to walk with this winter outside.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
because it's been so crazy nice. And we take them to different activities to go. We have a membership at the zoo, so we can take our clients to the zoo anytime we want.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, they have a great program there. So.
Oh, you know what? We got to get you hooked up with the guy from the Wild in Chittenango. We had him on the other day.
Last week.
Yeah, they get thousands upon thousands of people over there, and it's huge zoo.
Oh, it is.
You guys ought to go over there,
Yeah,
too.
We've gone there a couple of times as well.
Nice.
Your little baby kangaroo was in the house last week, which was fun.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. You see that on
link,
YouTube, Tom. You can see that on YouTube.
Yes, you can see it on YouTube.
So, you're looking for a few good individuals maybe to help?
We are. I tell you, there are so many seniors who need help. Those with dementia, those without. And we really could use some people from that 9 to 3 or 10 to 2 time frame. So if there's anyone out there looking for some part-time work, I'm a good boss.
What qualifies? What qualifies them?
You don't need a lot of qualifications to be a caregiver. You really need to have empathy. Mm-hmm. You need to be, able to show up and work on your schedule that you're scheduled with, and be able to cook a meal, give meds, walk with them, talk with them, engage with them, and do some laundry and some light housekeeping.
Yeah. Sounds like it could be fun.
It can be very fun and rewarding. So we're always looking for, but I'm especially needing some daytime people, especially on the east side.
Now, you don't take care of every, no, that's not the way I want to phrase it. What is the ratio of seniors without Alzheimer's versus people with dementia?
I'd say we're about 60-40. 60% of our people have some level of cognitive impairment.
Gotcha.
And 40% don't. They're just aging.
But as we age, we all have some memory issues.
We do have some cognitive issues. As we
so that's
age.
Not weird. It's just
part of aging. Just part of aging.
So people shouldn't be afraid to work for you because maybe they feel they don't have the skills to deal with people with dementia.
And we won't put somebody in with a person that, has a lot of behaviors, or they're really difficult to deal with because they don't have the experience. We try to partner up our employees with the right client.
But you have training for that too.
And we also train. Right. Actually, we're doing one live training every month right now, and it's selling out every single month.
And tell me about the hotline. People can call and get that weekly call. Is it a hotline?
Oh, the support group?
Yeah, tell me about that.
We do a support group every Tuesday from 9 to 10. And you just go to our webpage, SyracuseSenior.com, and the link is on there for you to join.
And it's free. There's no fee for that, right?
No fee.
Okay.
No fee.
And you have the ability to bring in a lot of professionals that support Alzheimer's, dementia, and senior living in general.
Absolutely.
You got another big conference coming up.
We do. We just finalized the date,
Good.
and we've got some really exciting stuff that you guys will hear more about as we go forward. But it's going to be September 18th.
Excellent.
Yep. this year, and we are so excited. It's going to be Living with Dementia 2024, The Journey.
Have you picked out a venue yet, or are you still working on that?
We are between two right now.
Okay, good.
I know last year it was standing room only.
Yes,
and
it will be
people,
again.
A lot of people received a lot of help and a
Yes.
lot of education and care and support and some love too, right?
And we're turning it into a 501c3, so we're in the process
There we
of that,
go.
so we can help more people.
Excellent.
Okay, so SyracuseSenior.com. If they want to talk to you, 469-1000. If you're the
Absolutely.
10th caller, you'll win a prize. No, 469-1000 to talk to Sheila. That's quite a prize, Tom.
Yes.
You have a great rest of the day, Sheila, okay?
Thanks, you too. Enjoy.
Awesome. Okay, coming up next, we're going to talk with Sean Dupree. He's the owner of Top Notch Roofing right here on the local show on 570 WSYR.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Back into it and back at it again. Good is a relative term. I don't know how good you are, but Steve is that far below you, so you'll always be above.
What's his in Elf? What they say? He brings it down a whole octave.
A whole octave, yes. You bring us
well,
down. In a good way.
Yeah, what most people don't know, Tom did a little drawing. Was it you that did the thing that made me Elf in the chair? And in the movie where they're all sitting there and there's the big, huge guy in the chair and they wrote Steve.
I didn't know.
Then
That
it must have
wasn't
been
me.
one of the others.
Yeah.
That arrow pointed at Steve and this, because I'm like that thing on your mirror. Objects are larger than they appear. That's me.
You are large. The big shadow, we call you. That could be your nickname, Shadow.
Yeah, I don't know. That sounds a little dark. I don't want to be dark.
The Shadow.
I don't want to be dark.
The sunny
I
shadow?
like it.
I don't know.
I like it. I think you should go with it.
Right, see? Yeah, it makes you sound a little, badass,
I'm not, though. I'm just a big, lovable fuzzball.
Yes, you are. All right. Well, speaking of lovable guests, Sean Dupree is here. He's the owner of Top Notch Roofing. He's always above you because you spend all your time above everybody, right?
We do, yeah.
Yeah, that's something else. TopNotchRoofingCNY.com if you want to follow along and see some of the things they do. What led you into this type of business?
Well, there's a demand for it.
Is there?
We've been in the construction industry for a long time, and there's a demand for roofing. So we're following the demand and growing our roofing business.
Out of all of the home improvement things that can be done, that seems the hardest to me. It
is
being on a
challenging.
roof. Yeah, 'cause
Maybe the most dangerous.
Yeah, and dangerous, right?
It is definitely dangerous. That's why we use all kinds of safety measures to make sure that we stay safe. All our workers stay safe. We have extensive training. We use safety harnesses.
Sure.
Scaffolding has all back racks on it, so nobody's falling.
Imagine
off anything.
me, Tom, working on a roof.
No. I can't imagine you on a ladder, let alone on a roof. Do you have to sign up with OSHA, or does OSHA?
Oh, they'll
come
find
to
you. I don't know if they'll sign up.
They find you. Or
You don't have
how's
to
that
worry
work?
about signing up for them.
Do you see them inspecting you often?
No, you won't really see them. The only time you'll see them is if there's some sort of violation. They'll stop in.
They don't spy on you.
Like someone on the ground that fell off the roof, right?
Yeah.
But the clip-on, that's the law, right? I mean,
It is.
that's the deal.
Yeah, you have to be harnessed in on a roof.
Everybody. So when we look up at a roof being done, everybody should be harnessed.
Yeah, there's some exceptions to depending on size of roof and roof pitch, and you can use a spotter.
Okay.
So there are some exceptions to that.
Spotter. Hey, look, that guy fell off. What's this spotter?
Well, no, he actually, or the person that's spotting is on the roof, and they're watching the edges of the roof. They're watching the people working.
Oh, okay.
So
Interesting.
if an employee or if a worker gets near an edge, the spotter is there to say, "Hey, you're close to the edge." So there are some instances where that happens.
When should people think about changing out a roof?
It's age of roof, and
How many years do you think they should go? Typically.
After 15 years, you should be inspecting it, regularly.
You guys do that?
We do, yeah.
So that you would show up and go, okay, here's the good news. Here's the bad news.
Correct.
Maybe you know what? Give us a call in 5 years. You're good.
Right. Yeah, that happens often. As the technology and roofing shingles has gotten better over the years.
Yeah.
Shingles last a lot longer now than they did 25 years ago.
What is the difference between a shingle now and 10, 15 years ago?
Well, they're heavier, they're thicker. So
Different material at all, or is it still the same?
Well, it's different than it was 30 years ago.
Okay.
Everything's asphalt now instead of fiberglass, or your metal roof is better now than it was 20, 30 years ago.
Gotcha.
They're thicker. They're better coatings on the metal roofing. So, they're definitely lasting longer today than they ever have.
Right, so top-notch roofing, you're going to do a roof. How long is it going to take?
Typically on a residential, it's 1 day.
In and out in a day?
In and out.
So,
and around my block, I saw a lot of people getting it done, and it was like 4 or 5 days they were there.
of course, Tom lives in a neighborhood full of castles.
Yeah,
that's true. So I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know that that's fair. But a regular person, like a regular middle upper income person roof, not Tom, whose lifestyle's rich and famous, but a regular roof. You come in, do your thing, go out, and you have a new roof, and you're gone.
In and out in a day. Yeah, that's what we shoot. That's what we shoot for. There's definitely the cases where they're more than a day, but for the most part, it's a day.
All right. So we'll give this at the end. But if someone wanted a quote, 247-0628.
That's correct.
So 247-0628. If they're wow, that's amazing.
What's it mean when a roof is punky?
It's time to replace it.
Yeah.
It's getting soft. It's your shingles have deteriorated. You possibly have some rot in your plywood underneath your material, your roofing material. So you've waited a little too long if you're punky.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. Yeah. Now, do you always strip off all the plywood and then go put the shingles over it?
No, you can reuse your plywood.
Okay.
You typically tear off the old shingles and reuse plywood if the plywood's in good shape. Okay. If there's pieces of plywood that need replacing, we replace them.
Right. Has plywood come down in price?
A little bit.
Since the COVID?
Yeah, a little bit.
It went up a lot and went down a little. Is that what you're saying?
Yep.
Yeah, because it went up crazy.
I know.
I was trying to build a little project during the COVID, and I was like, used to paying like, $28 for a 4x8 sheet or something like that. And we're like $104.
Yeah.
Like,
it went up a lot.
Are you kidding me?
Oh my goodness. Is there things that you can do to maintain a roof, or you just let it be a roof?
You can maintain them. Keep an eye on them. Make sure they stay clean. We also have a cleaning service that we clean. We can clean all the organic debris, material or debris off
the moss and stuff that grows.
Oh, my roof in the city, Tom. It was a regular garden.
Right.
I should have planted vegetables up there.
Yeah.
But that's because I think it was in the shade. We had a bunch of trees.
Trees will kill a roof.
And it was facing kind of north. I don't know that the roof was, had a problem originally, but I think that's maybe what caused it.
It's possible. North side tends to get a little more north, and your north and west sides tend to get more growth than your south and east.
Right.
There's also another type of growth that's called Geoclapsa magna. That's the black streaking that you see on your roof.
That's a big word for this show. Can you say that again?
Geoclapsa magna.
Steve gets that on his face a little bit.
When I eat certain kinds of fruit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good.
Oh, man. We have to hose him down.
Yeah. So if you see that kind of stuff, we have a service where we also we can come in and clean a roof as well, rather than replace it.
Yeah.
Those black streaks don't necessarily mean your roof needs to be replaced. It's time to do some maintenance on it. Okay.
We were chatting, a few months ago, and you were boasting of your warranty, and I know you meant it, but it sounded a little different than what I hear out there a lot. So explain that to me. Yeah.
So the roofing system that we use is Atlas Roofing System, and they offer a manufacturer's warranty for 50 years, limited lifetime. Sorry, not 50 years. It's a limited lifetime warranty, and it covers. It's a non-prorated warranty for 25 years on labor and material.
So 23 years in, I got an issue. What does that mean?
We'll come out and inspect it and see if it's a fault in the material, and if it comes back to being the material prematurely breaking down, then they will replace that at no cost.
So not like 4% a year for 25 years. That would be 100, Tom. I know Tom can't do math.
Yes.
But they will just replace it.
Correct. It's non-prorated.
That's very different. That's very different. So quotes, Top Notch Roofing CNY. I know you're rebuilding a website here that is on the works, but to get a quote and maybe beat the spring rush, 247-0628.
Yep.
So 247-0628. Get a quote from our friend Sean.
Yeah, we'll also be at the home show.
Hey, be at the home show with 50,000 other roofers, but Sean will be the good-looking guy.
That's right.
Very good. Hey, Sean, you have a great rest of the day, okay?
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
All right. Thanks for stopping by. Ashley Bednark is coming up next. She's the owner of Infinite Nutrition right here on The Local Show on 570 WSYR, 106.9 FM, and on YouTube.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Row your boat back into The Local Show. Thank you for joining us on this pre-spring edition of The Local Show.
So happy to hear that, Tom. Spring, it makes me smile.
And we didn't have much of a winter other than that storm.
Which was still lots of hype. And okay, yes, it snowed.
Right.
It's winter. We're in Syracuse.
We're used to that all along.
I mean, I hate it when they send off like the emergency tones for like nothing.
Yeah, they love to do that now.
You know, everybody.
I got to keep you in a good heightened state of panic.
Well, you know,
which means you have to
rely on the government.
Swallow buckets of ashwagandha just to calm down, right? It's just nutty. Tell me about Safe Harbor Wills and Trust. They have a wonderful service for a lot of people who might be looking to save their life savings.
Well, we love them. You know why, Tom?
They pay us money to be a sponsor.
Yeah, the show.
Yes,
They're truly the sponsor of the show.
That's why I love them.
But how about this? We've said no to some businesses that have wanted to do things. Not everybody's a fit. These guys are a fit. Our listeners are our age and older, many of them. Mm-hmm. They need to make a plan. They want to protect their home and life savings, and these guys are great at it. John and the team over there are just amazing at doing that. So many of us have let our wills get old. Time to update it. Mm-hmm. Maybe we're trying to avoid long-term care stuff. Talk to them. They have it figured out. Their process is amazing. They're amazing people. I saw 2 or 3 reviews just this week of people saying, wow, they did what they said and said what they did. So safeharborwillsandtrust.com. Or you can call, and they don't charge you for the phone call. You can ask questions. 370-9977. 370-9977. Safe Harbor Wills and Tom. Wait, hang on. SafeHarborWillsandTrust.com. Tom.
There we go. Oh, my goodness. Ashley.
That was good.
Yeah, you're not scared away yet, are you, Ashley?
No, not at all.
Ashley Bednark is the owner of Infinite Nutrition. You can see them online at infinitenutritioncny.com. How are you?
I'm well. That wasn't our first choice for a name, though, I will tell you. It was supposed to be Infinity Nutrition.
Oh, okay.
And when I went to do my LLC, they came back and said, whoa, somebody already has that name.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, dang. Well, so we had to change it. And now it just stuck. Now it's Infinite Nutrition, and it just kind of flows. And we love it.
Because it's infinite.
It's infinite.
Yes. So I met Ashley over at the gym, over at Crunch Fitness out there in Cicero, and you had all sorts of colored water. You look like a
mad
brewery.
scientist.
Yeah, like a mad scientist. That would be great.
Yep.
So what is it that you do? Well, first, are you a Syracuse native? Did you
I am
come?
not.
Oh, okay.
I grew up in Fulton, New York. My husband and I,
Wait.
It's Central New York.
I have to interrupt.
Central, yes.
I have to interrupt. We know she's not lying. She did not pronounce the T. Yeah. It was Fulton. So that proves you were from there. So tell us more.
Yeah.
So grew up in Fulton, graduated from there.
Yeah.
Moved out to Georgia for a year, ended up coming back. My husband and I now reside in Oswego, New York.
Right.
And that market, Central New York, Oswego County, is flooded with nutrition clubs. So when we were looking, we wanted to be in the Syracuse area.
Okay.
And that brought me to Westvale.
Okay, yeah, you're in the Westville Plaza.
Yes.
That's where you actually have a storefront. There used to be a theater over there. Did you know
I
that?
did hear that. I'm actually the property manager actually brings us photos of the place from like the 40s, and it's really cool to see how a roller skating rink was there at one point.
Yes, yeah.
Very cool to see how it's changed.
Do you remember going to movies there, Tom?
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
I saw Fantasia there. My Aunt Carolyn brought me there
Very
when I was
cool.
a kid, me and my sister, and we saw Fantasia, which was a beautiful spectacle.
I saw The House of the Fall of Usher at the one in Mattydale. Remember that?
Yes, of course.
The fall with, what's the creepy guy's name?
I don't know that
the
movie.
The creepy monster movie guy.
Yes.
Anyway, everybody knows him.
Yes.
I'll think of it tonight. But go ahead. Enough for that.
Peter Lorre.
No,
okay, with the eyes. I don't know. Anyway, so Ashley, tell us about your business now. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we specialize in meal replacement shakes and energizing drinks. So our energy drinks are plant-based, so no sugar, all plant-based.
Okay.
Our protein shakes are made with a lactose-free whey, which is locally sourced. It's manufactured in Albany, New York.
Okay.
We're super proud of that. And we're starting to branch off into like grab and go food items, quick breakfast items, muffins, things like that.
Yeah. So the whey is it's whey protein.
It's lactose free whey. Yep.
Oh, okay, great.
Yep.
So you don't do a plant-based protein.
We do have plant-based options.
Okay.
Yep. We have 2 other product lines that we use too if someone needs a plant-based option.
So what are the plant-based proteins?
Plant-based protein that
like
we have.
pea protein or
yep.
okay.
Yeah, it's like a rice, pea, and quinua.
Okay, so it's that
like a blend.
Yeah, very nice.
Tastes just like the earth.
I know some people they'll alternate. A couple times they'll do whey, milk, whey isolate, and then they'll.
What are you guys talking about? Help me. You know what?
Meal replacement shakes, protein.
Yes,
I should have brought some.
It was Edgar Allan Poe, and it was Vincent Price.
Vincent Price.
Who does these things you're talking about? Because you guys are all in that old
healthy people.
Is it just healthy people, or is it people like Tom?
It's everybody. It's everybody. I was telling Tom earlier, I try to be wellness focused without shoving it down your throat. Mm-hmm. Not everybody is into protein shakes.
Sure.
It's just a quick, easy meal. If
How do they taste?
They're not like the old soy ones that you had to plug your nose. Remember when you had to plug your nose to get it down? It's not like that at all.
So these protein, because my wife uses protein shakes.
Sure.
And just earlier this week, she gave me one that she said, I put some fruit. She said, try this.
Yes.
And I didn't want to hurt myself. It actually tasted great. And I don't know what she's using.
Absolutely.
But a lot of people do this. Is it a diet thing, or is it more of a health food thing, or is it a supplement?
You can incorporate 2 shakes a day to lose weight, or you can just do it because you don't want to go through the McDonald's drive-through line and you want something a little healthier.
Okay.
Yeah.
And not that there's anything wrong with McDonald's by any means.
There's a lot of things wrong with McDonald's.
There are. You see, the studies have shown, and the people that I follow on YouTube and a lot of doctors, including my regular doctor, will say that you should have at least 1 gram of protein per body weight. So, between 1 and 1.6 in some cases. As we age, protein becomes even more important. So if you're a 200-pound male, you should be having 200 grams of protein. Now, should you get it through your food? Yes. But a lot of times we just can't eat enough to get 200 grams of protein in.
But if this is made from food, this isn't chemicals. This is
No, it's not chemicals.
So it really is. So it's just making it more efficient to consume it? Is that an okay way to say it?
Correct. Yeah.
And it's got vitamins in it and all the good
other
things.
things that support.
A lot of times we can't get 200 grams of protein in. You know what I'm saying? So to get 25 grams of protein in a 20-ounce shake is huge.
Yeah. So you can do a couple of those and be comfortable and not feel bloated and all that kind of stuff.
Okay. And they taste good.
They taste good.
Yeah, they all. Now let's get back to the health benefits of it. Are you sweetening it with artificial sweeteners and stevias and all that? No, really? Nope. Oh, good. Mm-hmm. Now, what was some of the clear? They weren't clear liquids; they were colored liquids.
Yeah, so those were our plant-based energy drinks. So replaces your coffee. They usually come standard like 200 milligrams of. I'm telling you, you'd love it.
Better caffeine.
Better caffeine because it's plant-based. So that we don't add all that high fructose corn syrup stuff. There's no sugar in it. It's all plant-based. Everything comes from plants and green coffee.
Arguably, coffee is a plant.
It is, but it goes through a process like everything else, which changes it.
Changes the chemical composition, right?
Coffee's great. I mean, I still drink coffee too, but when I want that quick, punch.
So this is the anti monster drinks thing. It's the opposite of that.
Listen, anything that comes in a can.
Yeah, you got to be.
I'm just kidding. Anything energy related that comes in a can.
There's no energy in what I bring.
I know. So like I hear people, they're like, "Oh, I had a C4 and now I feel like I can't function," or
yeah.
So
one of those drinks with the skulls.
So these things don't. Would they be less likely to cause hyperactivity? Or are you asking for it when you have an energy drink?
No, not ours. It's very subtle. You get your jolt without the crash is the way I explain it to people.
And those, you probably got a lot of B vitamins in it.
They have B12, antioxidants. Right. Yeah. Allulose is the sugar component that they use.
Yeah, allulose is very good.
Yeah. That is super impressive.
Say the word again.
It's called allulose.
Yeah. Better than a stevia.
Correct. It's a sugar-derived sugar product.
You seem to believe in this stuff. You're pretty passionate.
I do. I have diabetes, so it's super important that I can drink something and feel the way I feel and not have to worry about my numbers.
So folks that struggle with those sugar numbers, that's fabulous.
Yeah, excellent. So you're the owner of Infinite Nutrition. It's Ashley, and you can see it at infinitenutritioncny.com. Is this phone number correct? 273-4256?
Correct, yep.
Okay, so that's in the big area code, 315-273-4256 if you want to ask any questions. Very approachable, and you can go over to Salve over in the West Bell Plaza and see the storefront. Okay, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
All right, have a great day. Matt Mallory's up next. He's the owner of PS & Ed and Mallory Unlimited. He'll be right here on The Local Show on 570 WSYR. Stick around.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
All right, we're back again, and thank you for joining us on this fantastic weekend, pre-spring, as we're moving toward warmer weather and all that. So global warming, amen.
Bring on.
Bring it on.
Bring on the carbon
good stuff. Of course, don't tell that to the people in California. They're jealous of our good weather. Because my buddy's out in California right now, and he said, absolutely nothing's going on. Isn't that something? The perceptions of people and what the news tells you, right?
Right.
So the news says, it's winter everywhere. It's 7 feet of snow and this. Yes, in certain areas and in the mountains and all that, but it's not the whole thing.
Tom, I can ask you a personal question.
Oh, sure.
Does the news bother you at all?
It really pisses me off.
Okay.
It's absolutely awful. And this coming from a guy who was a broadcast guy, and I used to love it.
Tom starts talking, it's like you can see the hair on his huge back stand up, because he's Italian.
Walter talking guns.
Yeah. Walter Cronkite, Edward R. Murrow. I love those guys. And then all of a sudden, I don't know what the hell happened.
Yeah, we got Rachel Maddow now.
Here's a guy who loves the news just as much as me. It's Matt Mallory. He's the owner of PS & Ed and Mallory Unlimited. How you doing there, buddy?
Good, sir. How are you?
Good.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Good. Matt, tell everybody a little bit of your background and how you became the owner of PS & Ed.
So I've been in guns since I was a kid. Daisy Road Rider BB gun as a kid, and then, pushed deer as a kid with a family, got into hunting, went into the military, got out of the military, got into teaching guns for Civil Air Patrol and Boy Scouts, and it just kind of kept growing and growing. It kept adding certifications on, and it was becoming more and more of a need of it. And recently with the stuff that happened in Israel, it's just getting a lot more in people's heads that it can even happen here with, 12 million illegals.
Is that all?
Something like that.
A week.
Yeah. They all have great intentions. They just came over to look at the flowers. God only knows. All right. So what's the difference between PS & Ed and Mallory Unlimited? What are the two?
So Mallory Unlimited is the LLC. And then under that, I've got a bunch of different businesses. We have a small farm. We have rental property. I just started another one called UnitedMerchCo.com where we do merchandise, shirts, and hats for influencers in the industry, stickers and such.
Yeah, influencers in what industry, though?
Typically firearms, but okay. There's other ones too. The music industry, we got some RVers that are coming on board. So we just literally kicked it off last week. So,
What would you say to someone that would say guns are the problem, not the solution, Matt?
Guns don't kill people. People kill people.
Yes.
I mean, that's it. They're an inanimate
someone
object.
might say, yeah, but if they didn't have a gun, it'd be harder to do that.
Well, give them a stone. right?
Yeah.
Give them a knife, give them a car, pressure cooker. Are we going to ban cars now because people drive drunk? Hold the person responsible and enforce the laws that we have. We have so many laws right now that aren't being enforced. Look at catch and release. I'm sorry, bail reform. Governor doesn't like us calling it that. But, bail reform. The judges and the law enforcement hands are tied. And people get back out, right back on the street to do bad things. Look what happened in New York City with the officers that got beat by those illegals that literally got turned around by Alvin Bragg, kicked right back out on the street, out to do crimes again. It's ludicrous. They're pointing the finger in the wrong area. They're trying to make it seem guns. And you always wonder, is it because they truly believe that less guns on the street makes it safer? Or is there an alternative motive there? Are they looking to try to get guns out of people's hands that might disagree with them so that they can keep pushing freedom policies?
Is it possible people are just confused?
I would think so. Education. That's why
some people. I hear people, young people, hear interviews from college students, and like, well, if there weren't any guns, there wouldn't be any shootings. Sure. And you go, it's a little more to it than that. And I don't know that they think they're smart. I think they just don't know
probably those talking points that they're running with. They're being educated. That's why I have education in the company name, right? Public safety,
there
education,
you go.
PS&Ed. But so I think I always try to educate people. But sometimes you talk to people, they don't want to be educated. They just they believe guns are the issue, no matter what they
they want to keep it there, right?
But then you realize that when time is of the essence and seconds count, police are only minutes away.
Yeah. Right. Yeah,
so you don't call the fire department when your house is burning down, but if you got a fire extinguisher, you're going to try to put it out while you're waiting for the fire department to get there.
It's a good analogy.
Same exact concept with a gun. You got a firearm. You're not going to wait for hang on, bad guy. You can't rape and pillage. You can just wait right there. Police are on their way. Yeah. It makes no sense. So you got to be your family's own first responder, period.
How did you feel about the Remington arms going away?
Yeah, they've been bought and moved in bankruptcy for years, so it was inevitable that it was going to go that direction at some point. Either the company was going to completely go away if nobody bought them. I think it's sad for New York, but we've seen a lot of companies like that have pulled out of New York. Kimber was in New York. I can't remember if they still got to stay here. You got Car Arms now. They've pulled out. There's just so many companies that are pro-gun. People don't even know this. The NRA was founded in New York State.
Oh, no kidding.
In 1871.
Wow.
The only gun organization founded prior to 1871 was New York State Rifle and Pistol Association. The longest standing gun organization in the country is NYSERPA, the one that brought the Bruin decision. 1871.
Yeah. What was that decision?
The Bruin decision in
Explain
2022. That. So basically the Supreme Court said that you can't have a proper cause reason to be armed. And that was New York State. New York State was proper cause. If you had to have a reason to be able to get a pistol license. Well, there was a lawsuit that went forth. Antonock went forward to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court ruled that New York State's wrong. They can't just unilaterally say you have to have a reason. If you don't have a reason, you're not going to get a pistol license.
Because they read the Second Amendment?
Yeah.
Out loud?
Yeah, they went. Okay. They went back to the time of that year in the 1700s from the 1791 from the Second Amendment, and they looked at it and said, oh, okay, so this is what they meant then. That shouldn't have changed throughout the years. It should be the same. That's how it was written by these very smart founders of our country. Let's go back and look at how it was worded back then.
Are there liberal judges that will still judge the law instead of the politics?
Honestly, I think we kind of seen that recently with the Trump. You see what happened with Trump the other day?
I did. Explain that. I know.
So the all 9 justices, the 9-0, where they said that the state can't kick the President Trump off the ballot. That's great. That right there shows you. I was surprised. I was honestly surprised. You would hope that would be the case.
Right.
They shouldn't. He was never convicted. Whether you like him or you don't like him, if they kicked him off the ballot in one state, they could do that to any politician, and either side could do that.
And either side could. That's right.
And that's the thing. And I think, unfortunately, one side plays dirty, the other side plays fair somewhat, and they both have bad on both sides. But I think sometimes we look at that and we say, yeah, we want that bad guy off the ballot, but then it could be back the other way too.
Back to the topic of guns. Can you explain to everybody what a ghost gun is and what the big hoo-ha is about that? So
I was in the state troopers hosted the ATF last week. I think it was last week, and I was down in Albany in my capacity as law enforcement, and I was at their ghost gun seminar that they put on training. So I spent like 3 hours there where they talked about it. It was pretty interesting, but they're not calling it ghost gun anymore. Kind of like climate change,
it's
change
the words around.
Yeah. So now they're calling it a PMF,
What's that?
Privately made firearm.
Oh, I see. Gotcha.
So if it's a privately made firearm, then it comes into their privy and they start looking at it a little more intently. I mean, we hear Schumer talking about guns, ghost guns, guns that are made of completely printed in plastic can go through a metal detector. Fake news, false. No, that's not the case.
Right.
Right. It has to have a certain percentage, and you're not going to be able to fire you fire a plastic gun that's all plastic. What are you shooting out of it? Plastic?
Right.
Is the gunpowder plastic? Is the casing plastic? No, it's just it's not there. The tech it might be down the road, but right now it's not there. So they're just like the micro stamping.
So briefly, so why do people? What do you do? Tell people what you do or classes. I know you mentioned you had some classes coming up. Explain that.
Yeah. So roughly, I teach about 100 classes, 300 times a year all over the country, certifying instructors. Do everything from rifle, pistol, shotgun, defensive tactics, taser, pepper spray. Just did a low light, no light class the other night. Taught people how to shoot with flashlights in the dark. Right. So yeah, it's just a varying of stuff. I do security guard classes, law enforcement, LEOSA, retired law enforcement. All year long. This is what I do, my primary thing, publicsafetyeducation.com.
So let me ask you this, a very important question. How many criminals do you get that come to your classes?
Oh, geez. It's probably a 75% or none.
Right.
None. Not a one.
Exactly,
Tom.
folks.
Great question.
Are you listening, folks? Okay. Hey, thank you so much, Matt, for all you do and all your people do. Okay. Have a great rest of the day. Kicking off hour number 2 of the local show, we're going to have a conversation with Bruce Pollock. He's the owner of B&C Storage. Charlie Van Patten stops by. He's the owner of Mattress Makers. Billy Gibson is the owner of Upstate Spray Foam. And then finally, we'll talk with attorney John Murphy, owner of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. Stick around. Hour number 2 of the local show starts really soon.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome back and welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. This is hour number 2 of The Local Show. Get ready for engaging interviews with Bruce Pollock. He's the owner of B&C Storage. Charlie Van Patten stops by. He's the owner of Mattress Makers. Billy Gibson is the owner of Upstate Spray Foam. We'll get a conversation going with him. And then finally, we'll talk with attorney John Murphy, who is the owner of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. It's our pleasure to bring back on the show Bruce Pollock. He's the owner of B&C Storage. How are you, Bruce?
Doing great today. How are you guys doing?
Good. Very good, my friend. Are you a Syracuse native, by the way? I don't know if I ever asked you that.
Well, I grew up in Marcellus, actually. I was born in Syracuse, lived in the Valley.
Oh, no. Here we go. Here we go. I'll sit back. Go ahead, Tom.
My father was a Valley boy, as he likes to say, but we moved to Marcellus when I was in 2nd grade.
Oh, no kidding.
Lived there pretty much my whole life. Got married, had kids, brought them through the Marcellus schools. So I'm local.
Go ahead, Tom. It's your turn. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to ask you what street he grew up on in the Valley. Where were you in the Valley?
We were at Medora Place. It's right off of Valley Drive.
Yeah. Okay, I know exactly where that is. We were up by Green Hills, but that's in the upper class,
I was waiting for. They didn't let me down.
I do believe George and Wheezy lived right next to us. Come to think of it.
One of my first jobs was in Green Hills.
Yeah, here we go. Green Hills. We have the whole Valley bingo
Absolutely.
card.
Worked there right through college.
Tell me about their baked goods. Are they good?
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay. There we go.
So when you went to college, what did you go for? B&C Storaging?
Actually, I did not. No, I was actually a recreation major. It was I graduated.
Recreation major?
Exactly.
That's a thing?
Cortland State it is.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Yeah.
They didn't know where else to put him.
Is that a fancy name for gym teacher or what?
No, actually, back in the late 70s, there was a big industry for corporate fitness and things like that. So I did my field work in Xerox in Rochester.
No kidding.
And
how'd that work out?
It didn't. Because Jimmy Carter in the late 70s, the economy tanked, and what do people cut? The recreation program.
Right, of course.
So I never did get a job doing recreation, but I used the education to do teaching afterwards. So
Gotcha. And then what brought you to, open up a storage facility?
Well, it's not like you grow up thinking that's what you're going to do, so, but actually,
Mom, Dad, sorry.
But actually a buddy of mine from college had a friend of his at home that had a storage facility.
Yeah.
And he had written a storage software program for storage. That was back before Windows. It was a DOS program. And
what did it accomplish? What was the purpose of it?
Keeps track of all the tenants, who's in what units, billing, accounts receivable and whatnot.
Yeah.
So we actually started a software company in the mid-'90s, and that's how I got introduced to storage. And I would go summers when I was off on my teaching job for the summer. I would go to different facilities, set them up, train them how to use the software. And I'd start running, you get done setting them up, you run their numbers.
And
go,
wow.
Like, I should look at this.
Yeah, this is lucrative. Yeah.
And so then we, opened the first site in Camillus on Milton Ave.
Mm-hmm.
And then our second site in Marcellus, because I live there. And, just kind of went from there. And then finally got out of teaching, got out of the software, and just now I'm doing storage.
That's the story of B&C Storage.
There's a rumor on the street. I want to see if you can make this validate that this is true or not. That they'll be filling storage wars at your place in a couple of weeks. Is that true?
That's not true.
Oh, gee. Is that what people think when they think storage sometimes? Do you hear that a lot or no?
It is. I mean, when Storage Wars came out, it gave a lot of popularity to storage. And, it actually helped us with our collections because people realized that, okay, if I don't pay my bill, they are actually going to sell my stuff.
Right, yeah.
And we used to do it on a Saturday when we had maybe like 7 or 8 sites, and we'd start at one site, and every hour we'd have a Storage Wars event, and we'd have about 50 people following us from facility to facility, do the auctions.
Wow.
Just like the TV show.
What's the law state? Is it your property if they don't pay?
Yeah, in the agreement, it's the only legal way to dispose of their goods, because you can't just confiscate it.
Oh, you can't.
You have to have a public sale, so you got to have it open to the public so it's fair.
So you just can't take it if you see something you like.
Exactly.
Can people bid on their own stuff?
They can.
That's a little weird.
Yeah, and we've had that happen before, but you try not to have that. I mean, we try to cut a deal with a customer. I mean, we'll give them a much better deal.
You're fair, yeah.
And just be like, just get out and let's move on.
Yeah, we want to rent the space and get paid.
Exactly.
It's your space.
That's all.
Yeah, that's all. How many places do you have? How many storage facilities?
Right now we have 23. We actually just opened 3 new facilities within the last 3 months, which is unusual for us, but it all kind of just came together. Mm-hmm. We opened a kind of a satellite site in Camillus that was at the old Eslenbaum lumber site, which was then a Taylor rental for 25 years on Genesee Street.
I know where that is. I know wherever that is.
And that came out really nice. We really kept the character of the building, and we tore down a shed that was there, added a building that goes with the whole property.
And you can fish nearby.
And then we did a conversion out in DeWitt, just off of Bridge Street, that we just opened last month. And then actually just within the last couple of days, we opened the Northern Boulevard facility.
That Northern Boulevard facility, when I drive by there, things have evolved in storage, especially with Bruce's places.
Sure.
And I want to live there. I mean, it looks that nice.
So does Kelly. Kelly wants you to live
would
there
like
too.
me to have an apartment there. They look like apartment buildings.
Yeah.
They don't look like a storage facility.
No, I mean, we have definitely upped our game over the years from when we first started 25 years ago. So
now, is it storage for dry goods as well as
like business stuff or personal stuff?
Yeah, like is it heated and regular?
Yeah, I mean, we've got air conditioned, heated units, with climate control, whatnot.
Climate control, that would be the word.
But it's a variety. I mean, one of the reasons that storage has grown over the years is because so many people have found so many good uses for storage as a solution to their problem. And so as people got more and more familiar with storage, it just got to be like, oh, that solves my problem.
You even have business people who might have to have inventory that they go from town to town with. They could keep some of their inventory there, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, we've got contractors, people with inventory. We do a lot more units with businesses than you would think. Most people think it's when somebody's moving their house, but it's a lot more than that.
Can stuff be shipped to a storage unit?
It can be.
That sounds like it would be complex.
Well, I mean, lots of times we get we'll get a pod dropped off, like with pods are great if you're going to go from here to California, but they're expensive. And if you, but lots of people will have the pod dropped at the unit. They'll empty the pod and then return the pod because it's a more convenient situation because they can go to their place, they can get their stuff, they don't have to pay a warehouse fee to get it, viewing or whatnot. So,
and as far as what is kept in a storage unit, it can be anything from lawnmowers and toys, ATVs, and things like
correct.
that.
I mean, we have a lot of cars we store. Pretty much anything you would store in your garage. You could store. I mean, obviously. Nothing illegal or fireworks or anything like that.
YouTube listeners see Bruce looking at Tom when they said that. Not me, just to be clear.
But yeah, pretty much anything you can store.
Yeah, and it's not meant for human consumption. Like, you can't put a human in there.
It is not.
Can you make it into a shop? Can I bring my tools there and carve some things up, or is that not really it?
Not really. We do have a product for that. We've got like flex office spaces that we also dabble in. Where if you need a shop, then you've got a bathroom, you've got power, and whatnot. And we've got we've got storage spaces as big as 2,500 square feet. So, the typical ones are smaller, but like out at our Vine Street facility, we've got large units. We just built a new building up at Nixon Park that's got units that are 30 by 50.
Gotcha.
So,
I probably know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask it to you anyway for our listeners' thoughts. Has the storage business increased or lessened over the years? I mean, do you still see a big demand for it?
There's still a big demand. I mean, I think it's getting to the point where it might be topping out, but the whole time I've been in it, it's been constant growth as far as demand. And
that's what
your products look amazing.
Yes,
you don't
really
go
do.
by, you see it. Well, it used to be a storage shed or something. Your properties, you see it, you look at it, it's nice. You go, there's Bruce again. Yeah. So 469-6200, a good number. Somebody says, hey, how much is this space? Where can I get it? Or bcselfstorage.com, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Excellent. All right. I'm going to rent out a unit to put Steve in during the
week. I knew that was coming.
Sounds good.
All right. Charlie Van Patten's coming up next, owner of Mattress Makers, right here on The Local Show on 570 WSYR. Stick around, okay?
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Well, we do hope you're enjoying the weather. The mild winter has given rise to a new hopefulness around town that says, bring on the good weather.
You sound like a greeting card, Tom. Do you like picking out greeting cards?
I do.
Why did that not surprise me? So you'll go like mandatory. So mandatory wife. You got to get Valentine's Day, absolutely birthday. So those are the two cards you buy for your wife every year, right?
Yeah, Christmas too. I even get a nice card on Christmas.
You have so much estrogen. I'm so proud of you, Tom.
So I like reading that stuff.
You will stand there and wade through them.
There's some very nice thoughts. Very uplifting.
I struggle in that space. Does that surprise you?
Yes, well, you struggle reading.
That's absolutely a fact. That's why I pre-read, because the brain...
You have a major in struggling in reading and a minor in comprehending.
There we go. Absolutely. And I'm proud of it. Like the atheist that... the atheist dyslexics?
Oh, I don't know.
He said, there is no dog, Tom.
I get it. Sort of. So
God, dog, verse.
Right, yes, I get
explain it.
And but you have a big heart, and that's what you're known for.
Yeah, I'll probably die of it.
Swollen large heart. Yeah. Not in a bad way, folks. All right. Hey, we've got Charlie Van Patten on the line with us here. He's the owner of Mattress Makers. How are you, Charlie?
Very good. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good to see you again.
You too. Spring is here. Can you believe 87 degrees this week and 78 degrees in Depew this week?
I know. That's nuts. It's good stuff. Does the factory get real hot, or do you?
No, hey, we've got air conditioning.
Ooh, you're like a modern factory.
Can you believe that? Yeah, we're modern as it comes.
Speaking of springs,
old machines.
Do mattresses have springs in them anymore?
Oh, absolutely. It's the best way to go. Yeah, these all foam mattresses, outside of latex, of course, but they don't function as well.
Okay. Yeah. So a spring, they say, does that support the body evenly over?
Oh, yeah, because...
How does that work?
they're independent and they go up and down independently, so that works really good.
You probably have to put something over them so that's not just poking
you don't want to be laying on those right away like the old-fashioned
mark.
Hey, I got a question for you guys. There was this consumer advocate that used to be on syndicated, Clark Howard. Do you remember Clark Howard?
Clark Howard?
Yeah.
No.
I got to be honest, I don't remember Clark. No.
Oh,
But
he
he's
used to
an
tell
advocate.
you how to save money financially.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And he's been off the air for quite a while. But his big thing was the no warranty. And it applies no better than anything to the mattress industry, except mattress makers. And I'll explain that in a minute.
Please explain it, because we don't know what you're talking about right now.
First of all, I'll give you an example of the no warranty.
Please.
You know, a 25-year warranty they talk about, 0 to 3 years, it's 100%. After 3 years, you pay 50% of your purchase price to the manufacturer on the warranty. Well, guess what? That's all he gets from the store. So he's at zero-sum game in 3 years. He doesn't lose a penny. And then, it escalates to 60, 80, 90%. So at some point, he's making money.
Is that all in the small print?
It's in the small print.
But what you just said, back up a few sets ago, Sean, from Top Notch Roofing.
Yes.
He said 23 years in, we're going to replace it. If there was a product, we're going to do it. And we're not going to amortize it over, okay, you got 2% left of your warranty or whatever it was. So it's exactly what you said. Is that our warranty is a warranty. It isn't this not warranty. So,
well, here's an example. About a month ago, a guy calls up and said, I got this king-size mattress, haven't had it that long, and I got a problem with it. Okay, we brought it in. We look at the law tag. It was 12 years old. He apologized for misleading us.
So he lied.
And we fixed it, and we didn't charge him to fix it.
Okay.
I mean, that's Mattress Makers.
Yeah. He ought to team up with Sean with mattresses, right?
Yes.
And he could sell them some mattresses, and then they could jump off the roof.
I was waiting for that. You didn't. That would be kind of cool. Have you been to the eggplant over there by Charlotte, by Mattress Makers?
I know the eggplant. Yeah,
right
I've gone there several times.
So I was there earlier this week.
Sure.
And I ran into an old friend, couple, and I hadn't seen him in forever. And I said, right through there, that guy over there, Charlie, I said, that's the only mattress manufacturer in Syracuse. They were looking like, what? I go, you can drive a day and you won't hit one. And they were just, and they're residents and they're local people and they're connected. And most people just don't know that you're it.
Yeah. I mean, our problems are almost zero, but any problems we do have, we've never charged the customer anything, regardless of how long they've had the mattress. Oh, to further on the warranty, for that 25-year warranty, down on the last page, and you got to dig and dig and dig. I had to dig just to find this out.
Yes.
In small print at the bottom, there's such a thing as called a wall hugger electric bed. If you buy an electric bed and you got a nightstand, you can buy an electric bed that hugs and pushes to the headboard when you raise the head up, so you can still get to your nightstand.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
This 25-year warranty, it's voided if you put it on a wall hugger bed. In the small print. So you buy it, you get it home. That's kind of like that thing. We had a customer come in and they bought a internet mattress at a local store. Oh, buy it local, same price.
Yeah.
Month later, they didn't like it. They looked it up. It's got a 60-day money back. They go to the store. Well, you didn't buy it on the internet. You bought it from us, and our sales are all final. You're out $1,800.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it's just
not at your place.
It's frustrating.
Yeah, not at your place. Do people still get lost and not know where you are?
Not too bad, but sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
Just look for that good-looking face out at the street.
That sign. I always use Fleet Feet as a reference over there. I get my shoes over at Fleet Feet. It's across from Fleet Feet. You can't miss it, and then they miss it.
Right behind Wilson's Jewelers, next to Chimney Plaza. They're going to change that. They're going to put a light in at that street that comes out from what's the name of that street?
Chick-fil-A.
Where Chick-fil-A comes out.
That street. The one that winds around there. I know the road you're talking about.
And then they'll put a big entrance right into us, so they'll open it up and we'll be able to shine a little better.
Behind Uncle Sam's, Tom.
Oh, yeah. Now, the location you have that's a factory outlet store up on Route 11 across from Chick-fil-A.
Absolutely.
Okay. Let's see if we can't move some mattresses out of there, because there's so much traffic up in Cicero.
Oh, my God.
And a lot of families and a lot of people moving in, moving out. So maybe we could move a bunch of mattresses this week.
Oh, that would be great.
Now that people
Yes.
are hearing you. So if you go up there across from Chick-fil-A, get your Chick-fil-A sandwich, and then walk over. Can't eat in the store. So
No.
finish it first. Then go in the store.
it.
Do you have a lot of mattresses up there?
We have got a ton of mattresses
A ton.
up there. And, just look for the big old trailer with their name
Yes,
on it.
absolutely.
And, I'm in court because they don't want me to have that trailer there.
Well, that's
You mean the
'cause-
trailer that you move things back and forth from the factory all the time? That trailer?
That doesn't make any
we don't
sense.
move the trailer, but we use it because
Yeah.
it's a big cash and carry store, and
Sure.
we need inventory. I mean, if you got 20 mattresses in 4 sizes,
Yeah.
all of a sudden you got 80 pieces, and where do you put them?
But what's the big deal? I mean, it's
Yeah,
beautiful. It's
that's-
clean. It's
It's licensed. It's all of those things.
Absolutely, and it's way back from the road.
Well, you have them talk to me. I'll tell them.
All right,
I'll give them what for. That's right.
So March Madness, you got some specials, extra special stuff going on, right?
Absolutely. We're going along with the basketball theme, March Madness. We're going to offer some good deals. Just come on in. And
Well, you're already half the price of retail stores. How can you go lower?
it's tough, but, the industry is off 20%. The largest spring manufacturer supplying the mattress industry, Liggett and Platt,
Yeah.
they're closing 15 plants and laying off 900 people. That's how bad the business is. So-
Steve is off 50%.
I know. I was going to answer your question. When
Yes.
you sell them and you make them, it's a lot better deal. Imagine you sell it to some middleman, they mark it up. You sell it to a furniture store, they mark it up. You avoid all that stuff with you guys, right?
Oh, it's unbelievable what you're paying between the manufacturing and getting it to you. It's just, there's so many hands involved in it.
Well, let's stomp the yard for that anyone looking for a mattress right now, if you're even thinking about it, now's the time to do it. Yeah. And you're going to get a quality mattress that is every bit as good as some of the brand names.
Probably better in some cases.
And, with better materials.
Equal or better.
Yeah.
Equal or better.
And you're going to have all that. You can go up to either the
Cicero.
Route 11 Cicero location or right to the factory itself.
We never
on
talk
Bridge
about
Street.
the people. When you go in there, you're buying from the factory.
yeah.
But these Carol and all of gang there, they know their stuff. So.
And the guy who's running that store up there on Route 11 is
Eugene.
your nephew?
Yeah, my nephew. Yeah, he's been
very
at
nice
it for 40 years.
Absolutely. Very knowledgeable.
Eugene. Call him Gene just to annoy him.
Gene.
Eugene. Yeah. Call him Eugene.
Well, thank you so much, Charlie, for doing what you do. Mattress Makers. And they also have a website, mattressmakerssyracuse.com. Check that out. You have a great rest of the day, okay?
Thank you.
All right. Billy Gibson is coming up next. He's the owner of Upstate Spray Foam, and we'll hear his whole story on the local show on 570 WSYR.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome back to The Local Show with Tom and Steve. It's good to have you on this weekend and being a part of the show by listening. And we know you don't have much better to do except your gardening, maybe, because the weather the weather's shifting.
We've got another week for fishing for pike season, so maybe some of our dedicated folks are out there fishing this weekend.
Well, they could be.
I know that's what you think about.
No, not at all.
Okay.
But I got to get Mike Johnson back over, Pro Snow, and he's got to look at my plants because they said that they come back after, doing a patio and stuff like that and doing the plants, and they'll make sure that everything's all set to go.
That's finishing strong, right?
Yeah. Oh, no, I got to pay him, though.
It's
not
still
like part of
finishing
the same
strong.
service. Yes, it is.
Oh, I got to pay you too. I hate that.
I know. But, so it's all that spring stuff is so fun.
Kelly having fun out at Script Group?
Yeah, she's enjoying herself.
Is she?
Yeah, they got a lot of projects going on.
Yeah.
A lot of commercial stuff happening and stuff happening with Micron, of course. And
listing houses. So
listing houses, yeah.
If somebody wanted to list their house and talk to a sharp lady that worked in banking her whole life, they could talk to Kelly, right?
Absolutely. And and now it's been like 4 or 5 years that she's had the licenses. So that's pretty good.
Scrippergroup.com. Scrippergroup.com.
That's it. It's our pleasure to bring a new person out of the show. His name is Billy Gibson, and he's the owner of Upstate Spray Foam. How you doing there, Billy?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Well, it's good to have you. So where'd you come from? Are you a Syracuse native?
Not a Syracuse native. We're actually located in Utica, New York market.
I hate that place.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
And your name doesn't end in a vowel. How are you?
That's
is that
true.
possible?
That's true. We're actually just south. We're country boys.
Okay, so you're not actually in Utica.
Not exactly.
That explains
the
the
Utica
lack of the
market.
vowel.
Utica market.
I'm just kidding you. I started my radio career out there.
Is that right?
Rock 107.
Okay.
Kellogg
As a child,
Radio.
I listened to that.
Yeah, Rock 107.
Did you ever hear
was out
Tom
there.
Sawyer?
And then
I do remember the name. Yeah.
You're looking at him.
No kidding.
Then I was on the Frog. Yeah, I was on the Frog out there. Yeah, lots of great places. But yeah, Ilion, all that. Yeah, actually, this year with my DJ company, we must have been out in Ilion and Clinton and all those areas.
Sure.
There's barns out there and stuff like that.
Yep.
we play
That's
at.
right in our backyard for the most part.
Okay, I gotcha. So you're kind of central New Yorkers. They still consider that central
Absolutely.
New York. Okay. And what did you do before the Upstate spray foam? Were you always in this business?
Not always in this business. No, I was actually an employee of this business for a period of time before I became an owner. But prior to that, I was into some other things. Of course, I was young and dumb and trying to learn right from wrong.
Of course.
And,
yeah, that makes sense.
As time went on, I became involved in the insulation side of things and actually, became an expert in this field.
So tell us about Young and Dumb for a while. No, I'm kidding. Don't do that.
My wife's behind me. So
all
She's
your
like,
dirty
"Oh, yeah."
secrets. Yeah. So I know that NYSERDA has a lot to do with the insulation business, don't they?
Extremely.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're a NYSERDA contractor, and there is just a whole mess of different incentives that homeowners are qualifying for, income based and non-income based too. So. We're glad to be part of the.
How do they
NYSERDA
qualify?
circle.
Is this something you help with? They do it on their own? They go somewhere else? How do they qualify for stuff like that?
Yeah, so we can help vet them and make sure that they understand what they are eligible for and what they're not eligible for. Most people, I believe in the Syracuse market, are National Grid or NYSEG,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
NYSEG and National Grid right now are putting out up to $4,000 worth of incentives to homeowners to improve their houses via insulation, some windows and things like that.
Yeah.
And it's all non-income based. So that's the cool part about it. If you pay your bill every month, you will get those incentives.
Does it have to be like an old house, Tom? House, what's yours? 15, 20 years old, Tom?
Yeah, I think
I
so.
mean, it's a beautiful home. Are those homes not eligible because they're not really old?
Nope, they are completely eligible. Yeah, as long as you're a good, paying utility customer, you qualify. And the codes have changed a lot in the past 15 years. So what was right back then may not be right now, and it may be something
homes could be under insulated, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Just recently, we went through the latest code change in 2021, and a lot of the local builders are scratching their head. They couldn't believe the amount of insulation that needs to be added to some of these homes now. So.
Some people will say that the house needs to be completely sealed. I know this is wrong, but some people will say that, and they try and do it themselves, and they seal up all the vents, and they put neoprene down the sides, and all that. What's wrong with that?
Well, there's some truth to that. What it involves is education. There's a lot of things in the building industry that's changed. Building science has stayed the same, right? So building science, no matter how the home acts and how it works and how it breathes and whatnot, has stayed the same. The way that we insulate buildings nowadays is we do want to get them as tight as possible. Okay. You want to take that home and make it a thermos, make it a cooler, if you will, to make sure it's as tight as possible. But what you have to do at that point is ventilate it correctly. So now we're adding mechanical ventilation into homes to make sure that we are controlling the ventilation in the home rather than Mother Nature. So if you go in and build a house and build it loosely, without care, and you leave gaps and cracks everywhere, Mother Nature is going to run through that place, right?
Do you have to consider radon when you're sealing up homes?
We don't necessarily get into that service. A lot of times that part is done by like a site contractor. If they come into it, say it's a new construction.
Yes.
They may put a radon barrier down prior to the concrete placement in the basement.
Okay.
Existing homes, we don't typically get into that. There is other contractors that mitigate radon and look into that, but it is a concern.
I'm going to fire a question out, probably a dumb question, which Tom, says I always ask. So here's another dumb
sometimes
question.
you ask stupid ones.
So, okay. Upstate spray foam insulation.
Sure.
Where, when, how?
So
unpack it for me.
Yeah. Upstate Spray Foam started in 2004. That's when we were established. We started, as our specialty was spray foam insulation. As time went on, we got into all other types of insulation and grew steadily from there. We actually insulated the building that we're sitting in right now.
Oh, wow. From Montreal.
Yep. Montreal Construction constructed this building. They subbed the insulation package out to us.
And they do great work. So they really do.
Yeah.
And we're very happy as tenants. So that says a lot for you that they would partner.
Great guys. Yeah. Brian is the one that we dealt with. He's always been a pleasure to deal with.
Yeah. Brian and Tony, I know what you're talking about.
Yep. So, we've done a lot of the buildings in the Inner Harbor here, and we've, but the buck doesn't stop with commercial, right? Residential is our bread and butter. We focus on the residential community.
Yeah.
But the commercial is kind of nice too, because, you come in and, you can, set up for a couple of days and get the work done rather than jumping from house to house.
So other than foam, you said it is expanded. Explain that.
Yeah, we've done, so we do all types of insulation, your fiberglasses, your celluloses, blown in insulation in attic spaces. We do some below grade stuff, waterproofing on the commercial side. We also do heat pumps. So residential heat pumps is the wave of the future. New York State's trying to eliminate fossil fuels as time goes on. So we saw the writing on the wall through NYSERDA programs that heat pumps is something that we must offer as well. So we started doing heat pumps in June of 2023. That's taken off. So we can get all the clean heat incentives and everything through NYSERDA. And, when you bundle the heat pump and the insulation together, NYSERDA loves you even more, and they'll keep throwing money at you. So
you never love anybody who can't love you back.
So is that the only service that you offer is the insulation?
Not necessarily. We do a whole. We look at it from a whole home perspective, right?
Okay.
We can leave that home in a situation where it's unhealthy, right? You talked about houses being too tight.
Yep.
You can go in and insulate a house and then walk away from it and leave that homeowner with some problems. Maybe their appliances start to draft improperly.
Gotcha.
Maybe they have condensation build up, mold somewheres. So from our perspective, we go in and assess the house. We do blower door testing. We have diagnostic equipment.
Unpack that a little bit about the assessment process.
Sure. Yep. So an energy audit, which the state currently pays for, it's free to anybody. We can go in there and set up a blower door test on a home. And a blower door test, basically, you set it up at the doorway, it's a fan, and it simulates what a 20-mile-an-hour wind will do against your house.
Okay.
So all four walls, right? So we'll go across the house and we'll check where the gaps and cracks and leaks are, where the air is blowing in. And, we'll document all of that, report that to the state. At the same time, while we're there, we'll check the heating appliances, make sure they're burning efficiently. We've walked into homes that are carbon monoxide detectors are going off, and some unhealthy conditions.
So it's a holistic look of the whole thing. So 822-5238. If they want to chat,
absolutely.
Hey, what would it cost? I don't know. What can you do? 822-5238, upstatesprayfoam.com.
That's correct.
That's a mouthful, upstatesprayfoam.com. And if you need that 20-mile-an-hour wind, just have Tom talk outside the door. It would cost you less probably than the machine.
I was going to say, when Steve walks into a room, he sucks all the air out.
Okay, all right. I was on that first. You were waiting. I beat you to it.
There you go. All right. Well, thank you so much, Billy, and have a great rest of the day.
Okay, thanks for having me.
Awesome. Attorney John Murphy is coming up next. He's the owner of Safe Harbor Wills and Trust. Stick around for that right here on the local show on 570 WSYR.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
And we're back again on the Local Show with Tom and Steve, otherwise known as the Steve Roberts Variety Show.
I never know what you're going to say, but it's never flattering. All right, Tom, say something flattering to me. I'll wait.
I did. It's the Steve Roberts Show. I mean, how much more flattering can you get?
Oh, they did a word count audit on the show, and it determined the guests speak 66% of the time. You speak 32% of the time, and I speak 3% of the time. And no, those numbers didn't add up, John. Be quiet.
I think you just disproved the whole premise there, Steve, with your little diatribe.
Absolutely.
I can look up diatribe for you if you want.
I know diatribe.
Was there somebody you wanted to talk about before we get into Attorney John Murphy?
It was you. No, you know what? I did want to give a shout out to Stephanie out at Blake Jewelry. If you haven't been there, right across from Costco next to Subway, Awesome place. If it's time to get a diamond, get it there. You're going to spend a fraction of what it is. She's got those lab diamonds that are real, but they're less expensive. And she's got the other ones too, if you want to pay too much. But real nice lady, small business, locally owned, Blake Jewelry, Township 5, next to Subway, across from Costco.
Very nice. Okay. Now it's time to bring back on the show attorney, John Murphy. How are you, John?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Oh, hanging right in there. So you had a birthday. Yeah, happy birthday to you, too.
You too.
Did you know we were both March babies? Well,
I don't know.
Yeah, well, now we're March seniors.
I knew you were a baby. I just didn't know you were a March baby, Tom.
We're marching towards seniorism.
Yeah, it drives my wife nuts because I really don't celebrate birthday. I didn't really do anything.
Yeah,
you know?
I don't do anything crazy either.
But I didn't do anything. Why are you celebrating me? My mom did all the work.
Yeah.
And so every year on my birthday, I send my mom flowers.
Oh,
and thank
very
her.
nice. That's good. Good for
That's
you.
how I celebrate my birthday.
I think that's great.
Excellent. Yes. There was something I was going to ask you. Golf. Yeah. Whatever happened to Tiger Woods? Is he around anymore?
I think he's supposed to play the Masters.
Is he really?
Yeah. He played
He's
the tournament
good enough
a couple
to be
weeks
in
ago, 3
okay.
weeks ago.
Yeah, he didn't make the cut.
He had back spasms and got
Oh,
food
God.
poisoning.
That's what I
He got sick.
Okay, that's what I always say.
He got sick. He has lifetime exemption, I think, to the Masters.
Sure.
Oh,
He
I
can play
see.
anytime he thinks he can play.
Oh,
But I think he thinks he can compete. Yeah.
It's just incredible because there's a guy who was just such a phenomenal athlete and made so many headlines when he first hit the scene, and then what a life story. Just negative.
Injuries. Right?
Yeah.
My son played really high competitive soccer, and whenever he had a chance, talking about, I don't know. He said, "Listen, either a coach or your body is going to say no.
Oh yeah.
Which one do you want to listen to?
Right.
How do we get in the Masters, John? How can we pull that off?
I think you got to sneak through the security.
Yeah. Just carry my clubs.
You guys better buy tickets if you're going to the Masters.
How do I get to Carnegie Hall? Right?
I don't know that it takes discipline to learn estate planning, but John has been very disciplined to learn golf in a new level the last year and a half. And he is now very competitive with me, aren't you, John?
I am. My goal this year is to get under a 10 handicap. So I went out Sunday actually and hit the ball pretty well.
There we go.
Yeah.
Very nice. Okay, so tell us about your business then.
Let's talk about business.
Yeah.
Let's talk about golf.
I knew you guys would love to talk about golf.
A golf trust. Go ahead. Tell me about a golf trust.
It's somebody standing down the fairway from me when I'm teeing off. That's golf trust.
That's trust. Oh, man.
So the whole revocable, irrevocable, tell me the difference and why are people so scared of them?
Well, revocable trusts are really simple. You can do anything you want. You can use the money in there whenever you want to. They're a wonderful tool, really designed to keep your family out of probate, right? Mm-hmm. So when you pass, if you have an asset that no longer has a living owner, like a house, that house needs to go through the probate process to have an executor appointed to sell the house or pass it on to the kids. A trust avoids that because the trust owns the house. You as the creator are the trustee and you run everything. And then when you die, you have another trustee that steps in and we don't need the court system.
I see.
Really came into focus for a lot of people during the pandemic when we would get a lot of estates. People had died, obviously, in the pandemic at an accelerated rate. And they had a will, you couldn't use the court system. So no executor could be confirmed by the court. And the executor can't act unless the court says they can. That's what people kind of miss on that.
Yeah.
And so the market was crashing, right? And all things are going on and nobody's appointed as executor because you can't get in the door of the courtroom. So, but people with trust, the successor trustee just took over. They could cash out of the market, do whatever needed to be done. Pretty easy. One of the great things about trust, we don't rely on the court system. We do a lot of irrevocable trust in our practice to protect people's homes and savings from long-term care costs. And I think generally people who don't want to go forward really don't understand the irrevocable trust. And they don't understand there's a lot of different purposes of irrevocable trust. So there's a lot of different designs of irrevocable trust. If you had an irrevocable trust because you were a multimillionaire and you wanted to avoid estate taxes, that trust you can't be the trustee of. You can't ever change it. You can never benefit from it. You have to, in the IRS's eyes, give it away and have nothing to do with it. We don't use those trusts. I don't have very many clients who have more than $13, $14 million, which is where the tax threshold kicks in for federal state tax.
Okay.
For Medicaid, asset protection, the trust we use, you can be the trustee. You can manage your assets. You can take the assets in your trust and buy another house. You could buy stocks, bonds, whatever you want to do with it. You can sell your house. You still get your capital gains exemptions. The only thing you can't do with it is pay for your groceries, pay for your heat, your lights, things that are personal to you, things I like to say that are consumed, right? Once you've done with them, they're gone. There's nothing there. It has to be an asset. People say, well, I can't ever change an irrevocable trust. Yes, you can, if it's designed properly through what's a device known as a power of appointment. It says, hey, I have the right to change my mind. Okay?
Very nice.
If one of my kids, just met with some clients yesterday who unfortunately their son is no longer in contact with them. They don't even know why. But they were able to change their trust, remove him as a beneficiary of the trust. Then people say, well, you can't revoke an irrevocable trust. And I call this the Bill Clinton rule, right? Depends what your definition of is.
Right.
Depends on what your definition of irrevocable is. New York State has a special statute. You can revoke an irrevocable trust as long as the people who are the beneficiaries when you die agree. Right. So in my case, I have had several irrevocable trusts because I used to have some rental property. But in our irrevocable trust is my 4 children are beneficiaries for Jan and I when we're gone. If I sent them some paperwork and said, hey, would you guys sign this? Your mom and I want to revoke the trust. And if one of them said no, okay, well, remember I can change who gets what?
Yes.
Power of appointment. I can remove, I always pick on my son, Evan. Let's say Evan said no, okay?
Yeah.
Jan and I can remove Evan as a beneficiary and we don't need his consent.
Okay.
Right? So that's the don't mess with me clause.
All right.
Okay.
This is a lightning round. Yes, no, maybe. Quick answer. Trusts are more expensive than wills.
No, wills will cost you generally about 5% of your estate once you go through the probate process.
Put the name, give the kids the house. That way we can't lose it to long-term care.
Hate that idea because you're no longer in control. If you want to sell the house, it's not your decision. If you do sell the house, your kids are going to have to pay capital gains tax.
Give the dough away. That way the government and long-term care can't take it. I can give away X amount every year, no problem.
Steve, I've taught you this. The IRS is your friend when it comes to giving away money. Medicaid is not. The IRS lets you give away now up to $18,000 to anybody you want to, and it's John Murphy, for those of you thinking of give away money, M-U-R-P-H-Y, care of Steve Roberts. But Medicaid says if you gave away money in the 5 years prior to applying for Medicaid benefits for nursing home, you're not going to get Medicaid for about 1.5 months for every $18,000 you gave away.
My son's got power of attorney, so everything's all set when I leave.
A lot of people think that your son could then disperse your estate after you go because he's power of attorney. No, the power of attorney is personal to you. It ends when you die.
I put his name on the bank accounts.
Oh, I hate that idea because if he has creditors, not the one son, but the other one, no, kidding boys, they could take your money because that was a gift of your money to them.
All right, end of the lightning round, Tom.
Oh, very good.
How'd I do?
John went 3 for 4.
Yeah, very well. It's almost like he's an attorney. He knows all the answers. Very good. Well, John, thank you so much for what you do and your whole team does. Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts.com is a website. You got a lot of material on that, and videos and everything. It's very nicely done. Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts.com, 370-9977 if you'd like to set up a little arrangement and talk.
Give us a call, talk to a case manager for free, see if we're the right fit for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Thank you, John.
Say that quickly.
Have a great rest of the day. That's going to wrap up the local show so we can send Steve packing.
I'm packing.
My favorite part of the show. So there you go. On behalf of the local show, Zoey Advertising, and Tom and Steve, well, God bless you and your families. Make some time to relax. Did you know relaxing is just as important as exercising? And people kind of mix that up, but you have to relax.
I think it's more important.
Exercise. Yeah, right. The local show is heard every Saturday morning from 11 to 1, and then again on Sunday morning at 7 to 9. Listen together with a friend and have some fun with it. Until next week, get down to business. Keep doing business locally. Tell your friends about the local show right here on 570 WSYR 106.9 FM, the iHeartRadio app, and on YouTube at Zoey Advertising.